Just like when you have a first date with someone, this is your opportunity to get to know them and decide if you want to carry on with them. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Reni. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy day to watch this video. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe before we start. And today we'll be talking all about mentorship. So I know I just did a video about mentorship and it was pretty well received. A lot of you asked for a video about the specific questions that I would ask during a mentorship meeting. So that's what I'm going to do today. So let's set the scene. Let's say this is someone that you are meeting for the very first time, somebody introduced you to, and you're meeting them for the very first time, either online or in person. The first thing that you need to know before you enter a mentorship relationship, and I've said this before, you need to know the purpose of the mentorship relationship. So if you're looking for them to help you with career progression, make sure that the questions you ask are revolving around career progression. So with your first meeting with your mentor, it's really all about getting to know them. If this is a mentorship that will last for months and months and months. If it's not, then you may want to dive into a lot of the questions at the beginning, but still make sure you start with an introduction of you and them. Ideally, and I emphasize this, you should know a lot about your mentor before the relationship even starts. So if someone connects you with someone, make sure you're doing your Googles, you're searching on LinkedIn, and you're getting to know all about that person so that you can, it's basically like you're going for an interview. You know about that person and what they do. They can tell you more about what they do, but just know a general high level so it's not like you're going in blind. Remember that as a mentee, the onus is on you to run this meeting. So the mentor should only do as much as you do as the mentee. So if you come unprepared and you have no questions, you don't have an agenda set for the meeting, you can't expect the mentor to do that. So I would introduce myself and tell them a little bit about me and my goals for this mentorship, and then ask them about themselves. When you first sit down, you would say something like, "Hi Lisa, thank you so much for taking your time to meet me. I was so happy when Billy was able to introduce you to me. So I am currently working in digital marketing at this company, and I am working in digital marketing, but I'm so interested in getting to know more about print marketing. I know that you are the head of print at this company, and I would just love to learn more from you and get to know some of the projects you're working on and any opportunities that are available where you work. I really want to learn from you and learn about your career progression and hopefully build a long-term relationship with regular meetings so that I can learn from you." So this is a great way to start the meeting if you are just getting to know them for the first time. I also recommend, even before this, you start off with some icebreakers, not formal icebreaker games like you would play at an event or something, but just getting to know them. If you saw on their profile that they worked at the same company as you, that's something to mention. Or if you see that they run a podcast, that's something to also mention as well. Don't be creepy about it. Make sure it doesn't seem like you're digging in too deep before you even met them in person, but just knowing a bit about them and building with them on a level not just professionally but personally is a great asset, and it will help for longevity in the relationship. Once you've had this introduction, both personal and professional, and you've established that you want to discuss career progression, I would ask questions specific to career progression. I always come to my meetings with a few questions prepared. Actually, not a few. I usually have like 10 or 15 questions prepared, but of course, I usually don't have to ask all of them because the conversation flows naturally. However, it's always good to have those prepared just so that in case you are stuck and you have nothing else to say, you can just look at your notes and ask them specific questions. Don't worry, it's okay to have your notes there. There's no harm in that. Especially with virtual meetings, they won't even know that you have your notes there. So make sure that you have notes and you're prepared for every single meeting that you may have. So these are some great questions that I've asked in the past relating to career progression, and some questions that you can ask as well. The first question is, what do you wish you knew before you took your first management role? This is a great question for getting the person to open up and tell you about their history. And of course, in the introduction, they should have told you about where they started and the roles leading up to where you are right now. But again, this allows them to tell you, okay, these are the mistakes I've made leading up to this role that I'm in now, and I really wish that I had done XYZ before. The second question would be, what is a pivotal step that you took that propelled your career to move into a management role? Do you believe that getting an MBA is necessary? So this is a great question for learning exactly what the person did to get them into the role that they're currently in. And it also lets you know whether they think that getting education, formal education, is necessary in order to get into this role. For some roles, it's actually necessary for you to go back to school in order to get it. But for a lot of them, a lot of people will say no, like there's no need to waste your money on an MBA. So this is a great way to gauge. And of course, as I said before, you always need to have a board of directors, which is your group of mentors. So some mentors may have different opinions on this, but it's just good to get people's feedback and see how they see their journey thus far. Next question is, was there ever a role you applied for and landed but weren't 100% qualified to do so? How did you approach it to ensure that you don't disappoint anybody? This is a great question to ask if you are in a similar position. So for example, if your manager is preparing you to move into a more senior role but you feel like you're not qualified, this would be a great way to ask a mentor and see what they think. I think most mentors, whenever I've asked this question, have said, just go for it. This is a great opportunity. Many people don't get pushed into roles. They actually prove themselves many times before and often get passed over for a role. So if you're able to get this opportunity, definitely make sure that you take it. Another question would be, how do I become a leader even if I'm not in a leadership position? So I find that this is a great question to ask, and a lot of people are very intrigued by this question because as many of us, we are individual contributors or project managers, so we are not in that level that we are people managers, but we want to get there. So this is a great way to see how you can prove yourself while you're an individual contributor or a project manager, and hopefully that will allow you to become a people manager. So again, learning from their experience. Another great question that I like is, what is one of the biggest mistakes you've made career-wise that I should avoid? So this allows you, again, to learn from their mistakes. Mentorship is a guide who is taking you through their life and allowing you to not make the mistakes they made. So asking a direct question like this allows them to give you it straight and easy, okay? They can tell you exactly what mistakes they made and what not to do. One more question that I would ask in relation to career progression is, when you've outgrown your role but want to remain within the company, how do you position it to management so that you don't hurt the relationship? I think this is something that many of us face, especially if you work in a large organization. There's a way to navigate things because of all the politics that go on and bureaucracy that goes on. So people who are more senior than you are able to teach you how to navigate these situations. Some other questions and these are the ones that I find most valuable, are the situational questions. I think these are some of the best questions to ask because you're actually asking, I did this and I want to know your opinion on it, or I want to know how I should approach it in the future. And I will just give you a few examples of these questions. So number one would be, my manager is constantly giving me feedback such as, you're amazing, you're great. And when I ask for genuine critique, she says I'm perfect and then there's nothing wrong. How do you approach a situation like that to get more constructive criticism? A second question would be, so say the person that you're reaching out to is in sales. You would reach out to them and quote their sales experience. So you say, as someone in sales, what are your tips on how to sell someone on an idea you are pitching? Recently, I've been presenting many projects to management and I want to learn how to get buy-in from key stakeholders. So one more question would be a question about a situation that's going on that everybody has to face. So something like a performance review. My performance review is coming up. What type of preparation do you most appreciate seeing from your employees? One last situational question that I'll give you is, I tried to delegate a task last week and it did not go well. Can we work through what to do differently next time? Lastly, I'll just give you some questions about mentorship specifically that you can ask your mentor. So if you're looking to make this an ongoing relationship, I would ask them questions such as, what do you value in a mentor and what do you value in a mentee? This is a great way to know what their expectations are from the jump you know exactly what they're looking for. And if you cannot provide that, of course, make sure you bow out and you do not continue to have this relationship. Or if their values don't align with yours, make sure you bow out. Another question would be, to you, what is the value of mentorship and how do both parties work together to make it mutually beneficial? You wanted to get to know as much about this person as possible before you decide to go on a second mentorship meeting. It's just like when you have a first date with someone. This is your opportunity to get to know them and decide if you want to carry on with them. And after you ask all of these questions, make sure that you establish, if you want to continue, make sure that you establish how regularly you want to meet. So after you say thank you so much, I appreciate your time, you then express that you would like to make this an ongoing thing. So you can gauge from their reaction if they also want to make this an ongoing thing. So I would say something such as, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate every word of wisdom that you gave me, and I'm definitely going to implement these things into my life. I would love to update you on my progress with all of these things. So I think this was a great mentorship meeting, and I would love to make this a recurring meeting. I know you are very busy and I value your time. So would you be willing to have meetings with me every month or every 2 months? If they say yes, great. This is a great opportunity. You have a mentor. Make sure you send them over that calendar invite as soon as you can. Ask them if they have a preferred day or a preferred time. Like if it's Fridays at 2 p.m., that would be a great time for you both to meet. And you make your calendar open for them, okay? Don't try and like say, oh, I can only work on these days. Try to make your calendar as open for them as possible because they're the ones really giving you the most value. However, sometimes they may say no. So they may say, oh, I'm so busy, or like, oh no, just feel free to message me whenever you want. You can ask me anything that you want anytime. Or, oh, I actually have a lot of mentees right now and I can't afford to take on another one at the moment, but you're able to message me anytime that you want for help. So this is a nice way of saying no. That's fine, not everyone has to be your mentor, but you've made the connection, and make sure you keep that connection. It doesn't have to be a monthly thing. It doesn't have to be a bi-monthly thing. You can message them quarterly or yearly, or it can only be a one-time thing. It really depends on the relationship and what went down in that meeting. So after the mentorship is done, the last thing that I emphasize and you should all do is send a thank you note. I think this is something that so many people don't do. And it makes you stand out when you actually do send a thank you note. Similar to when you have an interview and you send up a note thanking them for having an interview with you, send a follow-up note after your mentorship meeting. Just saying thank you so much for meeting with me. I learned a lot during this time and I'm excited to meet with you on XYZ day. Even if you're not meeting with them again, still send a thank you note. It is the least you can do. Always express gratitude because they really didn't have to give up their time for you. I hope these tips were helpful. If you have any other questions about mentorship, leave them in the comment box below and let me know what you want to see next regarding mentorship, finance, fashion, anything that you want. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.